I think that networking and face-to-face networking becomes more and more important. In these times, I think we also should reach out a little bit more to each other and be a bit more connected with each other. I don't think that AI will take over the world or all these doom thoughts that people could have. I don't think so. I think the human connection will still be the most important. And I think if we use this human connection, then we lost. But I don't think it will get that far.
Welcome to Team Up with Beata, the podcast at the intersection of humans and AI. Join me for honest conversations that help you collaborate better, build healthier teams, and feel optimistic about the future. Together, we'll explore how to lead with empathy and navigate the future of work with confidence. Today, my guest is Martijn Koekkoek, the founder of Everybody Networks Here, an international networking platform. After years working in marketing, sales, and leadership roles across Europe, Martijn decided to rethink how networking actually works and who is it really for. When he lost his job in Copenhagen, he didn't just start applying for hundreds of roles. He created something different. Out of that moment came Everybody Networks Here, an idea rooted in simple question. What if networking wasn't about what you do, but about what you're passionate about? You may have noticed the photo of Martijn on today's podcast cover, and as always, that's intentional. For each episode, I ask my guests to share an image that carries a personal story. Martijn chose a photo with pancakes. That photo reflects the energy behind Everybody Networks Here. Human, inclusive, and focused on real connection. Well, while enjoying pancakes with a friend. Isn't that how networking should feel? In our conversation, Martijn reflects on building the platform and what it taught him about meaningful connection. We talk about why passion matters more than titles, how personal stories help people feel seen, and how inclusive, thoughtfully designed networking experiences can support expats, introverts, and job seekers. And of course, we also talk about the hot topic, AI, how AI reshapes how we connect. Martijn's mission is clear. Networking should not be a privilege for the confident few, but something everyone can access. So, are you ready to jump in and rethink networking with me? Let's get into it. Thank you so much for being here on our podcast. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with Everybody Networks Here, because that is something new to you. And that is something that you created, can I say by yourself? What made you create Everybody Networks Here as a community, meetup? What is it?
Yeah, so I started this initiative by myself. I had a lot of people around me also supporting me doing this. So, yeah, but I did start this initiative by myself. And why I started Everybody Networks Here is because 2 years ago, I actually lost my job in Copenhagen. I was applying for a lot of jobs. I think a lot of internationals or expats can relate maybe to this kind of situation.
Totally.
And yeah, but what I could see is like a lot of jobs that I was applying for, there were a lot of people applying for this. So I thought that this was not my way of finding a job actually. But then as they also say in many other countries, they say, you have to start networking, build up your network. So I went to a lot of networking events at that time. What I experienced was that many of these networking events had one theme or for a specific industry or for a specific, or for a gender, for women, for example. So I was not even allowed to come there. No, but there was a lot of different networking events, a lot of good ones here in Copenhagen. But there was not like a networking event that I felt that was suitable for me. Because I wanted to go to a networking event where people actually could connect with each other. So I thought 2 years ago, why not start my own event? But then with the goal to get a bigger network myself. That was the idea, because I wanted to get a new job. But then I really started enjoying organizing these networking events. And first I did it in Copenhagen. Then afterwards I did it in Aarhus, Odense, the second and third city in Denmark, biggest city in Denmark. And then I thought I can do it in Sweden, I can do it in the Netherlands, I can then also do it in Paris. So that's it a bit in short. how
Yeah.
everybody networks here started. And it started all with saying yes to a lot of things that I was very uncomfortable about.
Okay, like what? What were you uncomfortable about?
My network in Paris is not that big. I haven't lived in the Netherlands for over 25 years. I still have friends there and family. Yes.
Yeah.
And they also supported me there when I did an event. In fairness, I didn't know anyone from the international community in Paris or in Amsterdam. So I said I had to start all over from scratch in every country again. It could have been that nobody would show up at these networking events.
Yeah.
And it could have been that the money I invested in this, it could have all lose it.
Mhm.
But it all worked out.
It
Oh,
all
I
worked
think it
out.
worked out for me personally.
It's working out. I think it's working fantastic. I should probably mention that at the start. This is how we met. I've attended one of your events here in Stockholm, where I'm based, since I'm also an expat, fellow expat like you.
Well, yeah,
Yeah. And I can totally agree with you. There are a lot of networks, a lot of events to go to, for me, specific to tech, but they are specific to a topic and not about networking per se.
exactly.
Yeah. And you have this unique question you ask people at the very beginning of all your events. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, you have been to the event in Stockholm. Yeah. So at this event that you went to,
hmm
I always ask people when
Uh-huh.
they enter the event space to share their passion on their name badge. I'm normally not so much a person of wearing name badges or at networking events, but at my event, I think it's nice that people write down their name and something they're passionate about. And this
Mhm.
passion could be anything, right? I write hip hop music on there because
Yeah.
I'm passionate about this, right? So I ask people to write down their passions. And I
Mm.
do this because I think people connect over their passions first and best. And then maybe afterwards, people can talk about other things, about more professional things. But I think the best way of laying connections with others is by first talking about your passion, because that's where people are most enthusiastic about what they're doing. And then it's also actually quite nice to listen to somebody or for the other person who has to listen or has to
Yeah.
hear about the other person's passion. I think this is a good, what do you call it, conversation starter.
That's true. An icebreaker.
An icebreaker,
It's a
yes.
it's a great icebreaker. That's true. I've actually witnessed this firsthand when I've met a certain person at, I don't know, maybe 10 different events before in the last few years. And we just, hey, nice to see you. And at your event, I wrote photography as one of my passions. And his biggest passion is photography. So we ended up talking forever and we're like, I had no idea you are this cool. So now we are much closer than we were. We actually talk to each other rather than just wave and say, hey, nice to see you. So this, I think it's helping immensely. We as human beings, we are naturally drawn to asking around our jobs, around our professions, what we are most comfortable with,
Mhm.
right? What we're most proud of. But when you lose a job, that's when, who do you identify as? Like what you've experienced. Who am I right now? And that can be quite tricky for many people. And many people who lost their jobs or the people that attend a networking event, they have a goal to get a new job and therefore they will attend a lot of different networking events. I mean, this is at least, I would say, half of the people I meet at networking events are looking for work.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So what is very interesting at my events is that it's not only people who are coming who are actually
Yeah.
looking for a job, but there's also just people who want to create a network or want to get a network. So there is also people coming from all kinds of different industries and all kinds of backgrounds, cultures, gender. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The brand name is also called Everybody Networks here because I think networking should be for everybody, and I think that everybody should have the possibility to network, right?
Yeah. 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 That's true. Everyone should be welcome and that should be more inclusive.
Exactly. And I think people feel more welcome when they can actually more talk about the things that they like to talk about
Yeah.
or that they are passionate about again. And then, yeah, you get better conversations. I've had like people leaving from my events with also new friends, but also with new opportunities, new freelance opportunities, because people, when they do come to networking events, they come there with a certain goal. And one of these goals could be looking for finding a new opportunity, a new job. But some people are actually also coming to get new connections and new friends because they just moved to, for example,
Yeah.
Stockholm or to Copenhagen or wherever I do these events. Yeah.
Yeah, super interesting. Let's talk more about your backgrounds. Previously, you were working in marketing for many years. Do you see that the skills that you've gained in the past are helping you a lot during this new venture that you took on?
I think it does help.
Mm.
First of all, it helps also. So the events that I create they are for everybody, but I mostly talk or I mostly market the events towards internationals, expats, but also like-minded people. And like-minded, then there are also locals. So it's
Yeah.
for everybody. But what helps in this is that I've been an international myself for 25 years. And so I know the challenges that people go through. But I also know that the opportunities and the nice sides of being an international. So I know the people who are, I don't want to say I know them, but in general, I know what kind of challenges they go through. Or what kind of, their challenges is the right word, right? From learning a new language to finding a job to getting a new network. So that, first of all. But yeah, marketing, I've experience in marketing, sales. I've done a lot of different kind of jobs, work. I've had a lot of different kind of work. And surely that helps. Yeah, that helps with, like, for example, I know a bit like how LinkedIn works. I think I also know a bit like how Instagram works. I think how content marketing in general, I think that I know a bit how that works, right? And I'm
Yeah.
also interested in this part.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it does help. But to get back to your question, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm asking because starting an event, it's not for everyone. It's you have to be quite bold to start a new movement, if I can call it like that, because I think what you're creating is more of a movement from where
Oh,
I'm
thank you.
sitting and
Well,
what I'm
thank you for
seeing.
saying this. It's a
Yeah.
nice word for calling it.
So you have to be quite bold to stand up there and say, this is what I think is missing. This is what I believe in. Why do you think people are so skeptical when it comes to networking? What stops them from attending events or networking, even on LinkedIn?
Hmm. So there are different, it could be different reasons. It could be time. People don't have time enough. People think what I also hear, because I talk about this subject actually quite a lot with people, is that they have this idea of, they think, oh, what does this other person think about me? What does my future employer or my past employer, what does this person think about me when I post this on LinkedIn? Or when I show up at a networking event and maybe I make a total fool of myself, or maybe somebody interpreted me wrong, or so these type of things. Some people also think that they don't need networking. Could also be. They don't need to do this. Yeah, so these are three things that now pop to mind, but there are more reasons, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I've seen people being scared of posting something on LinkedIn because their boss is going to see that they're every day on LinkedIn. Therefore, they think that they are not doing their job. Because if you're on LinkedIn, you clearly are not doing your daily. I mean, it's such a.
But to be honest, I think it's a good thing when you post on LinkedIn, right? It doesn't have to be daily or weekly. Even if you do it like once a month or twice a month or something. I think it's really a good idea to do. And I don't think so much about that. You should not worry so much about what other people think about what you want to share. I post quite often on LinkedIn, to be honest. But when I started doing this, I had people around me, friends and family. They were also saying, they were laughing sometimes, right? Oh, you post again, you're doing this again. But now they can see he can actually benefit from this, or he can actually benefit in different ways. And now they're thinking like, okay, they still make like my closest friends, they still make jokes about this, but like in a fun way, right? Or, what do you call it? Yeah, just in a friendly way, right? But but in the start they thought, oh, what is he doing? Right? Why is he doing this? Why is Martijn posting all this stuff on LinkedIn?
Who's laughing now?
Yeah, but maybe, but it's more that I think it's a good idea to do. Good idea to do. I think it's a good idea that they're creating some kind of maybe a brand around yourself. And now I just post on LinkedIn a lot about networking and about these events I'm doing. But especially internationals and expats, now I work a lot with this group, but they have a lot to share, right? A lot of stories to share. And this is what makes them different from other people who don't share it.
I like that you're focusing on fellow expats. I like to call myself more immigrant, but I know expat is a bit more sexy word.
Yeah, I don't. But what I think about this is that if I say expat to you, you understand what I'm trying to say.
100%. Yeah,
And
that's true.
I have had like people also reaching out to me or I've had talks with other people about, oh, I feel more that I'm an international or an immigrant or an expat.
That's true. That's true.
If I talk about expat, and I do think expat is also a fancier word
Ah.
than immigrant, to be honest. If we both,
Yeah. But how do you think being an expat affects how we network with others? What are the good sides of being an expat in the country
the good side.
that we could leverage to maybe build our personal brand or get a job at the
Yeah. So
networking
I think,
event or
yeah.
in
So
general?
I think every international or every expat, immigrant, whatever you would like to call it,
International.
everyone has his own story. My story is very different from yours, for example, or from anyone who moves to another country, right? And that makes you different. That makes you stand out from everyone else. I moved to Denmark 15 years ago because of my reason, but I moved to Ireland and England also because of one reason,
Yeah.
or several reasons. But, and I think that's my story. And I
Mhm.
think that a lot of people who move to other countries have stories to tell, challenges to share, right? And these challenges, other people can benefit from them, right? So, for example, if you have a very hard time in learning a new language, right? I think you should share your language journey on LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you can,
Mhm.
because in this way you have some kind of you're sharing your own journey, and you can also maybe inspire or support somebody else's journey with this, and that makes you then a leader, I think, in my opinion, because
Mhm.
somebody might look up to you, right? I'm not saying everyone, but if it's just only one person or two person that you can maybe help with their struggle, with their challenge of learning a new language, I think you're already winning there. Yeah, that. So that's why I think that you should share.
Have you ever shared publicly your stories about why you moved from Amsterdam, right? From the Netherlands
I close to
to
Amsterdam.
Denmark?
I'm from from the most beautiful city in the Netherlands. I always call it Horen, but yeah, it's close to Amsterdam. Yeah.
Have you been open publicly on social media or anywhere around about your story, or how has it been for you?
Yes, I have been.
Yeah. Do you mind
Yeah.
sharing with us what made you move to from because for me, the Netherlands, and I know that's like generalizing, so I apologize if I'm offending anyone. But for me, the Netherlands, or at least Amsterdam and Copenhagen, they are very similar from the outside, you know.
Mm,
Everyone is biking everywhere. It's like a free city. It's really cozy and everyone is really
mm.
friendly. So it's different than moving, let's say, from Amsterdam to Dubai. But I'm sure that has been a culture shock in some way for you. But before we get to that, what was it? What was your story? Why did you decide to move, and why Copenhagen? Why Denmark? Sorry,
Mm.
why
Yeah.
Denmark?
When I moved away from the Netherlands, I moved to Ireland first,
Mm,
and I did this because I was after my studies. I was working for a Dutch bank at that time, and I had to take the train every day to Amsterdam and to go to work. And then one morning, I was just thinking, okay, is this what the rest of my life is going to be? No, but it sounds very much. But that's
yeah,
what I thought at this time, right? I was
adulting.
22 or 23. I was, and I
Yeah,
thought, okay, so is this what's going to happen? I'm now going to work. I didn't want to. I didn't think about a master's at that time, but I was more that, is this it? So then I thought, okay, what should I do next? And then I just saw in a newspaper. I opened a newspaper and then I saw an ad for a simple call center job. It was actually in Ireland. And I thought, but I'm just going to apply for it. And
in a newspaper.
within a month, I moved to Ireland, and there was nothing planned. My parents thought that I would come back or my family and friends. They thought like that I would come back after a month. But no, I stayed away, and then afterwards, so I was in Ireland, and then I moved to England and to the UK, and I moved to the UK. Yeah, this is a bit of a funny story. It
Yeah,
was
tell us.
because the idea was to move to actually Spain to
Oh,
get a warmer climate. But in Dublin, where I lived at the time, I couldn't save any money because I was going out too much.
too many pubs.
In all honesty. So I thought maybe it's a good idea. And I was together with a friend of mine at that time. Maybe it's a good idea to move to the UK. Then we find a job there. And then we just stay there and save some money. And then afterwards we would go to Spain, move to Spain. I never made it to Spain. I stayed in the UK, in Manchester.
Manchester,
My
the
friend,
most rainy town in the UK.
oh, is it true? Yeah.
That's what
Is that
I've
what they
heard.
say? Oh, okay. Yeah. And then, then there was an English girlfriend, and then I stayed longer,
Yeah.
and then I moved to Newcastle, and then, yeah. And then I moved to Denmark also for love at that time.
Yeah.
And now I'm still here, and I'm really enjoying Denmark. I really think it's
Yeah.
great to be here. I love Copenhagen. I love living here close to the sea, to the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
It's
my
very
story, maybe
common.
in short. Or
In
maybe it
short.
was too long. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. It's very common to move for love. I mean, both you and me meet probably a lot of people that do that, whether
Yeah.
it works out or not in the end, and they stay or not. That's another story. Super interesting. It's great that you're sharing it, because I can see myself in your story in some way or another.
Mm.
As you said before, sharing your story, it's very important, and sometimes maybe therapeutic.
Also, yeah, I think it's a journaling kind of thing. Yeah? Some people call it the journaling.
Let's shift a bit gears into what everyone's talking about recently.
Okay.
How do you think AI has affected how we network day to day? How do you think the networking will change because AI is with us? Simply by tools such as ChatGPT, where people even ask. There's been recently an episode on the news here in Sweden where someone went on a date, and then they went with the questions from ChatGPT, and that person kind of found it a bit, what's the word, cringe. So
Oh, wow.
how do you think AI has affected it, and how will it continue to change the way we network?
Yeah. So first of all, I think AI is great, and I totally embrace it, and it's also here to stay, right? I think it will we only will see AI more and more around us. But I embrace it. I try to use it myself. But I think also with this AI becoming bigger and bigger and more in our daily lives, I also think that networking and face-to-face networking becomes more and more important, because in these times, I think we also should reach out a little bit more to each other and be a bit more connected with each other. I don't think that AI will take over the world or all these doom thoughts that people could have. I don't think so. I think people will still, like, the human connection will still be the most important. And I think if we use this human connection, then we lost. But I don't think it will get that far. So how it will change networking? I think, like, yeah, when you network, well, at least at my events, right? I think that people should just come as they are. They don't have to be like formally dressed, or they should just come as they are. And as what the example that you just gave about dating, and then an AI using this chat, yeah. Did he eventually get the date, or did he?
No,
Are they going
I
to
don't
date
think
again?
so. I think the
Oh, they're not.
person
Okay.
could see right through it.
Oh,
I mean, at
okay.
this moment, we can see through it, right? We can see if someone's having a ready ChatGPT questions, maybe when they are reading from the phone.
Right.
But in the future, obviously, it's going to be harder and harder to recognize. Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. I think you should always come to a networking event like as you are, authentically, and you should
Okay.
not. You can what you can do. You can use ChatGPT maybe for preparing your elevator pitch, or if you want to share this, right? Or maybe you can prepare a bit. You can look up like, hey, things that can support you before you actually go to a networking event. How do I question, like a simple question? How do I connect with other people? Something like that, right? Just to get some, if you don't know, and maybe ChatGPT could give you this answer. I think in this way you could use ChatGPT. But I don't think you should come with a whole ChatGPT script to a
Why not?
networking event. But then
No,
again, if this guy actually got the date or is still dating with this woman, well, then
that would be interesting to see.
that would be also interesting. Yeah.
But I mean, what if I'm a really shy or introverted person, and I do feel better when I'm by myself, but I now have been forced to go and network because, everybody networks. So should I? And perhaps if I lost a job and now I am looking for one, and again, everyone says you should network, how would you approach it in that case? Because I guess it's easier for an extroverted person just to come and just talk random stuff.
Mhm.
But as an introvert, what
Yeah.
would you say?
So what I find very interesting is that there's actually quite a few introverts, or people who come up to me and say that they're introvert, at least in my events.
Hmm.
So there's quite a few introverts coming to our events. What I would say to them is just So I try to, first of all, I try to create a very open space. Everybody is welcome, right? And I often also say this is my, like the welcome word that I do. I try to make everybody feel welcome. I'm also just a guy. I'm also just, and all the other people here are also just normal people. And sometimes I even say, hey, for some people, this might be the first time to be a network event. And for some people, they've been networking like a lot.
Mm.
So I always ask people to have respect for the other person. But when I see somebody like struggling maybe, or see somebody who finds it maybe challenging to network or start connecting with other people, start talking with other people, I can see this, I think. And then I will just go up to this person and start a conversation with this person. And then just as how I am, I'm not going to be, just how I am. I would just start talking with this person. And I think that people also find that nice, or people who are a little bit more introvert. But I think the most important thing is creating a welcoming space for everybody. That's what I think.
That everyone feels safe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Really
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really beautiful, I think, and unique. Every event should maybe start with that, so people feel like they can belong. That sense of belonging.
Exactly.
We
Yes.
always
Exactly.
talk
Yeah.
about.
I'm not the biggest fan of the word belonging, to be honest. But in this context, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not.
Everybody belong at the networking event.
Yeah, that's true. Once you signed up, you belong. As far as I followed your journey, in many events, you choose to collaborate with other creators or solopreneurs or business owners. Why is collaboration so important to you?
What I'm trying to create with my events, I'm trying to create a win-win-win-win-win-win, a lot of wins situation. What I'm trying to create is I try to create like a win for myself. I can create these networking events, but I want to create a win for the people who are actually attending, right? Because I would like to expand the network. I would like to give them a fun evening. I would like them to, maybe they might learn something new. And then I also want the person the person that I work with for the event, I want also to give this person a lift. Because many people I co-hosted events with, they are internationals as well. And they are working on their own projects. So in this way, I can also help pushing their projects and them as a person, because I share them on my LinkedIn, I share them they're at the events, they get exposure. So what happens is not at every event, but what has happened is that when people do a keynote workshop at my event, they also get an opportunity out of it. For example, another gig, or they find that they meet somebody else within the network that can help that person further.
I'm really interested in this collaboration part because it's different if you are running it solo all the time. Everybody networks here, and then there's Martijn by himself, and it definitely has a different flavor when each time you bring a collaborator. Especially recently, you've collaborated with someone on a project around expats and expats going solo. Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah.
How was
That's
that? Tell
correct.
us a little bit about it. Why did you choose that project? Obviously, expat, but you've collaborated with another person
Yeah,
on this?
correct. With Vel, yeah. It was a great project to work on. Yeah, so there's a lot of internationals and expats who are working on their own business or their own initiatives, or they would like to work on their own initiatives. And this could also be because they cannot find a job, or it could be that they just want to create their own job, or they want to have more freedom, or they want to. Could be different reasons, but I'll just call them expats from now on. Okay,
Go for it.
but
I love that word. I think I'm going to start using it. I'll
But
rebrand myself.
the expats, they don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And Vel, I've been working with her on other projects as well. But she's a coach, a business coach, and focuses on expats and internationals. So we decided to create something together for expats who are actually struggling or actually don't know where to actually start their own business. Yeah, so this was I called it a masterclass, but there were like 3 sessions that we had together. And there was also a LinkedIn chat around this event. So people are still talking with each other there. We had, this was the first time we did it, and we had 18 expats joining us. Yeah, so they are now together supporting each other, creating all their own businesses. Some are now really supporting each other. So we're trying to make it like some kind of like small micro communities where people all help each other. That's what we're trying to build.
That's beautiful. What was your biggest learning from them? Why do you think it was important to create community around specifically people who are trying to go solo?
Yeah, a lot of people are just sitting with the ideas, and they're sitting with these ideas by themselves. And I think if you do it, have a community of people who all want to have this idea of starting their own business or want to do something, and if you put these people together, these people can help and support each other. So within these sessions, that we had some really nice conversations, from the challenges that people experience, how do I actually start, and where do I start, and what are the opportunities of how do I start, and with what. And I think that people can just support each other within this community.
Yeah. If I was to create a community today or tomorrow, because I'm busy today, what would you say? Where should I start?
Okay, start now and start somewhere,
Mm.
and maybe also something around that you are passionate about. You think you can make a difference. It's short, but I think you have to start now, start somewhere. When I started these networking events, I had networking events in the beginning where only 4 or 5 people showed up. I've also had the one event where I thought nobody showed up, but then in the end, 2 people showed up. But I was also standing somewhere outside an event space. And then it was 7 o'clock. The event started. 10 people said that they would show up. And then nobody was there.
Oh my God.
And then in the end, 15 minutes later, 2 people showed up. But I've
Okay.
been there. I've had that also. So that's what I'm trying to say is with start somewhere and start now. And share it. That's what I did. I shared everything from Everybody Networks here. And you can look back at my LinkedIn and look at first post from 2 years ago. Look at them, and then you can see I've posted everything, my whole journey.
After people didn't show up, how did you get up from that? How did you go next time? Okay, maybe there will be more people showing up and more people. How did you know? How did you get yourself to just go and believe that there will be more people coming?
First of all, it doesn't matter how many people come.
Okay.
I just want to say that doesn't, to a network event, doesn't matter how many people come.
Okay.
It's about the quality, and actually I'm more focusing on the impact. So it doesn't matter how many people come. But obviously it's also not so nice if
Better than one.
Yeah, it's better than one. But still, at my very first event, we were with 6 people. And 3 of these people who were there, I already knew 6. So 6 including me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of these people I already knew. So there were 2 people I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? We had such a good night there, and we learned so much for each other because I prepared a little exercise also on this evening, and I learned from the 2 people I'd never met before. I learned so much from them, and we connected with each other, and we still connected with each other. We write to each other every now and then. So I just want to say I also started somewhere, and I just thought that I enjoyed doing it. I'm just still enjoying creating these events, and I just said to myself 1.5 years ago, I said, okay, now I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to go push on and continue and see what happens. Say yes more often, and just see what happens.
I love the movie Yes Man. I think it was with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. It's exactly like that. I'm saying yes to so many things that I'm also have been very uncomfortable saying yes to, but I'm just doing it. Just see what happens.
I love that. You yourself have lost a job, and that's how Everybody Networks here was born in a nutshell, as we talked about it. What would you say if the person listening to us has been struggling to find work after losing their job, and it could be for a year or more, and they're not necessarily interested in finding or creating a networking event? What would you say to them? What would be some of your wisdom that you could share?
Wisdom. Okay. Well, thank you. Okay. I think, first of all, I think everybody can do it. That's what I think. When somebody is in this situation of finding a job, I think the most important thing is do something. Do something. Don't just sit at home and watch and only write job applications. Start a volunteer job. Do a course. When I just lost my job, I did a Adobe Illustrator course, and I just did it with YouTube. Do something. Do something, and not only write these applications. And maybe also try something different. Call companies up and say, hey, do you have a job for me? Bold as enough, but it's just. But I think Okay, this may be a bit weird question to ask like this, but just call them up or just, yeah, some people don't agree with me on this, but I do still think that coffee dates or coffee chats with people
Mm-hmm.
is still a good idea to do. So, just
Mm.
calling somebody up or somebody within your network or somebody you would like to talk with, just ask if this person would like to have a coffee. And just
Yeah.
maybe that person can give you some insights or some ideas about how you could get your next job. I think most people are very friendly and would like to help. So yeah, but just do something. Don't just sit at home and write applications.
And watch Netflix.
Do something.
Yeah, that's true.
I did a lot of volunteer jobs, right? Because when I just lost my job, I worked at a lot of festivals as a volunteer. I met like a lot of nice people there, and I learned how to make. I was a barista, become a barista, and all that. Never done this before, but hey, I learned it there. I've worked at a volunteer shop with elderly people, but it was that's also okay. That's not a bad thing, but it was a great experience. I learned so much from that as well. Yeah, volunteer work is also a great idea of doing something. It's also something you can put on your CV, right? If somebody asks you like at a job interview, so what have you done over the last 3 months? And if you then can say, I did some volunteer work or I did this, did that, instead of just, now I'm sitting at home, not that you would say this in an interview, but just sitting at home and writing applications, right? I think and especially as an international, when you live in bigger cities like Stockholm or Copenhagen, there's so many things to do. Yeah, to do something. That's
I should get you a hat or a T-shirt with "Do something" now.
yeah, maybe,
I
yeah.
I love that. That would be amazing. Yeah, fantastic. This has been really great to hear your story and listen to all the tips that you had to share with us, our audience. If people are interested to find more of you or attend one of your events or workshops that you're co-hosting with others, where can they find out about those events and where can they find you?
Okay. You can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I have a newsletter and I have a website, which
You
is,
have a website now. Wow,
yeah, woo.
that's great.
Yeah, I had like
Congrats.
a link tree. I had a link tree for the first 2 years, but
Yeah.
now I actually have a website, which is, it's there.
Yeah.
And I think I think it looks nice, but I think I have to work a bit more on it. But that's also where you can find
Yeah.
the events. So it's everybodynetworkshere.com. Yeah, you can find, and you can also sign up to our newsletter. And then you sign up, you can also find the website or the link to
Yeah.
the sign up. Yeah, that's where you can find me, or you can add me personally on LinkedIn. Also happy to.
I'm laughing about the website because last time we met, you said, I don't even have a website, but you've already running a really successful event, which I think is quite impressive because many of us try to create a perfect website, perfect
Yeah,
design before they even start up
yeah.
with the idea,
And
right?
to be honest, a website, right? I don't think it depends. Obviously, it also depends a bit on what you're doing or what you would like to
Mm.
do. But I don't think in my case, I actually have this website also a bit more to actually attract other companies or sponsors, maybe who would like to work with me, right? So I'm using it more corporate reasons. Sounds a bit,
Corp-
but and that's why I actually have a website because before this, people can find people actually because my LinkedIn profile, that's actually my shop.
yeah.
If you want to start something for yourself, you should not think about okay, but what is my website? I need to have a website.
Mm.
I don't think a website is that important, to be honest. I think that, for example, your LinkedIn profile, or if you're maybe an Instagrammer, or whatever, I think that's a lot more effective.
Mm.
That's where you should start. That's what I think. If you want to start something for yourself, yeah.
That's true. That's true. This has been really great. Thank you, Martijn, for spending this time with me, with our listeners. And I hope I'll see you at one of the events somewhere across Europe.
Sure, always welcome, and thank you for having me.
Thank
It was
you.
great.